This episode of Speak Now, Hold Your Peace is brought to you in part by Green Sister Botanicals, plant-based hair and body care. Visit greensister.com for your hair and body care needs.
She's good. She's good.
Anytime there's a shooting, people are saying, we need more gun control.
That's just human nature.
Welcome to Speak Now, Hold Your Peace, a live broadcast with real conversations about community social issues, politics, business, health, self-care, and more. We broadcast live on the Speak Now, Hold Your Peace Facebook group and the Speak Now, Hold Your Peace YouTube channel. And now, here's your host, Say What I Feel, Dre.
Welcome to Speak Now, Hold Your Peace. I'm Say What I Feel, Dre, and today we got a good one, as we always do every Wednesday. But today is a little special because we're doing it for the culture people. I got 3 guests. I had 4, one had to cancel, so I decided to leave this spot open for someone who wanted to call in or rather come on. You would just use that link below, and I'll let you on. This is going to be toward the end. But let me introduce my guest. I got my man Talik L from Jersey. I got my man David from BK.
You do.
My frat brother. And I got my man Seneca from Ohio.
Yes, sir.
Y'all better act like y'all know, because y'all know what's going on in Ohio. A lot of big things in Ohio coming up. So, let's get started, man. I don't want to waste no time, man. I want to talk about old school hip hop. I want to talk about the culture. I don't want the last time I did a show, I really put down that new school rap. Talik L, you was on the show with me in the lounge with Dre and V. We did episode 7. It was called "What in the Hell Happened to Hip Hop." So,
Right.
yeah, I ain't going there today. So. I ain't going there today. We just gonna talk about the culture, man. So let's get started, man. I wanna start right away. So let me see, David. I'm gonna give you my first question, man.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So in terms of hip hop, man, do you think is hip hop? How can I put this? It's I don't want to.
Don't want to lead the question. Just put it out there.
No. I just want to make sure I'm asking it right. So does hip hop to you, like from back in the day compared to today, would you say they're similar or totally different? Meaning, like, I know the game has changed, but do you think it's like far apart from each other now?
I think the problem is that it's different because it's less original. I think nowadays you gotta have like you have 2 tracks. A lot of these artists, you have, it's easier to just produce, because you do have the indie path, right? So there's a lot of rappers out there, especially they coming from the battle rap scene. A lot of those cats in the battle rap scene are nice. I mean, Arsenal and all those dudes. But the folks that we hear on the radio, like the Lil Nas X and Lil Yachty and the rest of these dudes, I mean, the industry has made it where you can be garbage and you can all sound alike, and they want that because if they don't like somebody or somebody you want too much money, they can take somebody else out and put somebody else in. Whereas back in the day, I think you just had like a lot of different styles. Even though dudes were all fighting for those few spots. But that sort of made, that competition made the dude that actually made it to the top, really, really good. Whereas now, man, I mean, the 4 of us could probably, drop a hot single, put it on YouTube or Spotify and we get hits.
Right. Seneca, what do you think, man? You think rap is totally different? Is it far apart from what it used to be? Or do you think, it's not that far apart?
It's definitely far apart from where it used to be at. But I think at the same time, the younger generation actually put us in this position, right? They like the same kind of music. They like the same kind of repetition. That's what they look for. So the artist is only doing what the people are asking them to do. So I think in that regards, you really can't be your individual self, right? Because you've got to do what mainstream is asking you to do in order for you to make a living at what it is that you're trying to do. So I definitely think the music is far apart, two completely different worlds. But at the same time, again, it's what we asked for.
Right, right. What about you, Talik L?
Um, let's see. I think it's basically. I don't think it's too far in a sense because it depends on when we talk about mainstream, what's on the radio. Um, it depends. If we're talking about the machine that pumps out through the mainstream radio, that's been too far for the longest. Ever since kind of like the era when Puffy was really jumping off, like around 2000, it got out of hand. You know what I'm saying? It got a little too far because it was only allowing for a certain genre of music or a certain topic to be or an artist to actually have to sound this particular way in order to push, their record sales. It's been that way. But far as is hip hop in itself, no, because you have artists who still are bringing back that sound, and they're getting a lot of exposure. You look at like Griselda, for instance. You know what I'm saying? Like these guys are like middle-aged guys. You know what I'm saying? In the late 30s, mid-late 30s, and they're bringing back that old sound, like that old grimy sound, and they. You know what I'm saying? Lately, they've been getting a lot of exposure because and you know what really got them out there? It was really the industry artists like 2 Chainz, Wayne, all of them just like talking about them. Like, yeah, you listen to these guys, and a lot of people have been, they pretty much their exposure came from within the industry, people who heard about them. You know what I'm saying? And their wave. It wasn't mostly like outside influence, but it's been basically influenced because they know that what they're bringing is something that's been missing, like the beats, the style, the sound. People are getting tired of mumble rap and trap rap. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
People are getting tired of it. They want to hear something different.
Let me ask you this, Seneca. In your opinion, and we're gonna get to our top 5. In your opinion, when I asked you earlier today to give me your top 5. Your top 5. You gave me your top 5. What was it based on? What was your top 5 based on? Like, was it based on lyrics? How deep it was? And I asked that because when you ask for people's top 5, you get these results like, huh? Or really? Or, but we don't know what we're basing on. My top 5 that I have now is totally different if you wanted me to give a top 5 for lyrics. So what did you base your top 5 on, Seneca?
So a little bit of everything. So I based it off of a little bit of lyrics. I based it off of what I listen to now, what I grew up on, and what stuck with me, and just what society has influenced us into listening to and making us think is the top 5, right? Because if I look at the top 5 that I gave you, originally I had Nas in my top 5. And then later on that day, I ended up swapping them out and putting 50 in my top 5 instead of Nas. And again, it's what do I listen to now? What still works for me as I continue to grow and continue to get older.
Okay. I'm gonna give y'all Seneca's top 5 now. Then we're going to go to Brother David and see what he incorporates in his top 5. So Seneca had at number 5, 50 Cent. At 4, he had Lil Baby. At 3, he had Drake. At 2, he had Jay-Z. And at 1, he had Tupac. So this may differ from ours, but this is what you know, this is what he chose, and he just told us what he based it on. All right. So I'm gonna go to you, Dave. What do you base your top 5 on?
I will say this much.
Do you want me to tell them first?
Go
Okay.
ahead.
All right. So we'll give yours first. Okay. All right. So at number
Seneca about to start cracking up over here. All
right.
That's all good.
So at number 5, let me see. Ice Cube. All right. At number 4, he had Big Daddy Kane. Number 3, Rakim. Number 2, he had Tupac. And at number 1, he had KRS-One. What'd you base your list on?
I think it's kind of obvious. And before we go down this path, just know that I think I'm probably the oldest person on the panel. I'll just say that much. And Dre, you pretty old.
Yeah.
So I'll leave it at that. But I will say this much. I did grow up in Brooklyn in the 80s. And I only say that because that's important, because I was there at the beginning. I'm not going to say I was a hip hop head way back then, but listening on Saturday and Friday nights to Red Alert and Mr. Magic and Molly Mall and Chuck Chill Out.
Chuck Chill Out.
Established Chuck Chill Out. Yeah, I'm going back.
DJ Cheese.
DJ. So I'm just saying lyrics is top for me. I mean, and when I say lyrics, I mean you got to be able to show that you can flow, which is why I love battle rap nowadays, which is why I got Rakim and Big Daddy Kane in there. But that conscious rap, where you actually are showing that you got something going on upstairs and that you're keeping up on current events. That was always prime to me.
My bad. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, it's okay. That was always prime to me. So KRS-One is there. Chuck D would probably be in there as well. And then and now as far as the music, and we talked about this earlier, Dre. The music is important because it doesn't work unless you got a nice beat. But that's always secondary. But Big Daddy Kane got the music and Cube. Cube is a good combination of both. So, and not to say that there's no cats out here nowadays that are nice, because I saw some of the newer names with Seneca, but these dudes, that's where it all came from.
All right. Talik L, we're gonna go to you, brother. I'm gonna show your list first, and then we're gonna get it in. All right.
Hold on. Before you show the list,
Talik L, hold up. I'm gonna get you in the frame. Get in that frame a little bit until we go back to the other one. All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right. So before we go ahead and say what you gotta say, Talik L.
Well, wait. Before we get into the list, okay, I didn't understand the question. I thought that was like you're asking for a random top 5. My top 5 was based on what popular people actually consider to be the top 5. So it's not my personal top 5. So just let you know, my personal top 5 is a whole different.
Okay, so what's your top 5 your top 5? Let's go through your top 5.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Okay, so what's your top 5
All right, somebody got feedback. I don't know what that is. Anybody got their thing up too loud?
Seneca.
Maybe.
It should be good now.
All right, my bad. All right, that's cool. All right, Talik L.
Yeah.
Nas at number 5. At number 4, we got Jay-Z. At number 2, we got Tupac.
Right.
At number 3, we got Tupac. At number 2, we got Biggie. And at number 1, we got Rakim. I was kind of surprised that you gave me that one. But,
good man.
Okay.
Because, first of all, Rakim is the embodiment of what an MC is. Like, his whole persona is MC. What an artist, what hip hop is. All of them are.
Word up.
Tupac is the most influential artist to date. Like,
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he had captured the heart of everybody. He captured the heart of everybody his time, you know what I'm saying, when he was here. And then, Biggie as well, Nas, Jay-Z, all these people, you know what I'm saying, they're just influential to the culture. So I think I just picked randomly people who I think everybody else would consider, you know, influential to the culture. They're not my personal top five. Nas and Rakim are my personal. But
Okay.
like, you know what I'm saying? But the other ones are not necessarily my personal, but I do think they're the most influential artists, you know what I
Gotcha.
mean, as top 5 artists in hip hop.
All right. So I'm gonna give my top 5, okay? And mine is purely based on because I like them. You know what I'm saying? I like their beat. I like the flow. For me, my number one criteria is pretty much flow, and you know what comes out your mouth, how you put it together, and all of that. So, for me, my top 5 at number 5, I went with Big Daddy Kane. Okay, that's
yes.
I got Big Daddy Kane at number 5.
Show your age, son. Show your age.
At number 4, I got KRS-One. And I'm thinking I should have switched him with this next one. But at number 3, I got Rakim. All right. Number 2 and number 1, it was real tough for me, man. It was kind of tough for me. But then I'm like, I slid more toward this rapper being number 1. But number 2, I got Biggie. I got his shirt on, you know, rapping the big, you know, big, man. You hear me? You hear me, son? You hear me? I've been in this game for years. It made me an animal. It's rules to the shit. I wrote me a manual, a step-by-step booklet so you can get your head on, you bring your game on track, not your wig pushed back. You hear that?
Yeah, we get it.
That almost got number 1. Like I was thinking about that, and I was like, that almost pushed him to number 1. Just those lyrics alone. Okay, but I said it. What y'all think the number 1 is?
Pac.
Anybody? Okay, Pac. You say Pac?
Listen, you got to give me Pac.
Jay-Z.
Oh,
Wow, good one.
okay.
Good one. Okay.
Yeah.
Tupac ain't even in my top. He might make my top 10. I think he's overrated. He's way over. I think he's just way overrated. He would be lucky to get in my top 10. I think Eminem
my
was.
feelings are hurting right now.
I'll tell you, I find it hilarious since Jay-Z I found was not to be a copy, but definitely similar to Tupac. If you look at it, just like a next level.
Look, man, I think Eminem is better than Tupac.
Good.
You heard my feelings
I'm about
right
to put up this mic.
In terms of flow and rapping, see, y'all thinking about the lyrics, that deepness, how deep he was. That deepness don't mean nothing in a club, man. Nothing. But I mean, it ain't just about the club. But I'm just saying, like,
Drake, I'm about to hop on my car, drive down I-64 for about an hour and a half, and bust down your door.
Look,
Vernell gonna be mad at me, and I'm about to smack you twice.
Based on my
He asking for
criteria.
it.
Now, see, y'all wrong. See, I ain't say nothing to y'all when you was throw. Let me see what you threw up there. Hey, hold up. Let me just see what you threw up there. I ain't say nothing.
You good for a minute.
I ain't say nothing when you put Ice Cube on there. Yay. Seneca, I ain't say nothing about Lil Baby. I ain't say nothing. I was being nice. I ain't say nothing
Drake.
about. I didn't say nothing about Drake because we don't know if he's a rapper or a singer.
Hey.
And let me
Come on.
see.
T,
let me see, T.
Y'all.
All right, so T, let me see. T, I you know, I think you good, T. I think you was good. But look, that's just how I'm feeling, y'all. That's how I'm feeling. That's all. I'm just saying.
All right. Man's entitled to his opinions.
I can't believe. What is it about Tupac? Let me ask you this. What is it about Tupac that got y'all going like that? Like, what is it about him that y'all like so much?
Listen, I'll tell you like this.
Oh, go ahead, Seneca.
His lyrics.
For me, the fact when my mama came down the steps and she's saying word for word a Pac song, that to me told me that this shit is the truth, right? If mom is coming down, this is it. This is it. She's driving down the street, got the windows rolled down, and all you hear is "I ain't mad at you," right? That right there to me, listen, mom doing that.
That's what that mom's did it for you, huh?
Yeah, hell yeah.
What about you, Dave? What's up with that, man?
Look, I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm from Bed-Stuy, y'all. I was never feeling Biggie like that. To me, it was never even a competition between Biggie and Pac. I'll say for Pac is this: he has a wide catalog. There's something there for everybody. If you into just the stuff that plays in the club that don't got much to it, he got songs for that. He got songs that you can play for your mama, and your girlfriend. And then he got the Machiavelli where you could tell that the guy's been reading. Like, I was watching Top Five, the movie, earlier today, prepping for your show, Dre. And they made a joke in there that if Tupac was alive today, he might either be in a Tyler Perry movie or be a politician. You know what I'm saying?
And
What can you say?
and you know what's funny? Y'all know Do It All from Lords of the Underground, right?
Yeah.
So I had him on the show, and he was telling me, he told us a story about when he went on tour with Tupac. He said that Tupac was coming out of his mouth because one of Do It All's boys was late, so Do It All came back at him. So it was a little hostile. So later on that night, Tupac came to his hotel, and Do It All thought it was gonna be on and popping, but Tupac was like, "Yo, I respect you for standing up for your boy and all of that." Then they got to talking, and he said Tupac told him that this was way before all of this stuff, what we living in now. He was saying that, we got to get in office. We gotta be in the Senate. We gotta be senators. We gotta be running for president. And he thought Tupac was off the chain. And now look at us. Like now, Do It All's running for councilman in Newark. And it's just crazy. Like now, I'll give him that. I ain't got nothing against Tupac. He was a smart man. Now he was smart as I don't know what, man. So I think it's funny how y'all talk about that. But I think he saw a lot of stuff that we didn't see. Like he was way ahead of his time.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was way ahead of his time. So big shout out to Tupac, man. Stay resting, my brother. And you two and Biggie, stay resting too, man. Let me ask y'all this. Y'all, there was times where, you hear a song, right? And it's a real old song, but you know exactly who you were dating in, you knew what school you went to, you knew what you was doing when you first heard it. How powerful is that to you? Like, how powerful is that to y'all to that music can make you memorize certain stuff like for so long ago? Because here's the thing, I've studied for tests and exams, and I can't remember nothing. But if you play Eric B for president, I could tell you exactly where I was.
1986, baby.
I could tell you I was at that skating ring. At 86, I was what? 86, I was about 13. I was about 13 years old in 86. I know exactly who I was. I know who I was trying to holler at. I know who gave me a ride to the skating ring that day because we was pumping that in the car. How powerful is that? You think, man? You think hip hop is that powerful for people to actually remember what they were doing and all that stuff when they hear specific music?
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely.
What was the song for all of y'all? Like, we're gonna start with Talik L. What was the song that if they played it, you remember everything about it, what you were doing and all of that?
Oh man, it's several, bro. Like
one of your favorites.
Bro.
You want me to come back to you?
Yeah, come back to me.
All
'Cause there's too many. Go ahead.
David.
Oh man, I think it's funny you should say Eric B for president, because that was the summer '86. So that was Eric B for president. That was Janet Jackson, Nasty Boys. That wasn't My Adidas, but that was that other album, that second album that they came out, Run DMC. I can remember all them songs, but probably the first song that when it came on the radio, everybody just stopped what they doing and started dancing.
Yeah, the show. Yeah, the show, man.
Yo,
You right.
The show was bananas, baby.
Yeah.
And that and all the ripoffs, including Salt and Pepper's Salt and Pepper. One of their
Push
songs
It?
was actually a comeback to the show. Push It.
Oh no. Dougie Fresh. What was it called?
The Showstoppers.
The Showstopper. Yeah, that's
Showstopper,
what got them famous, man.
That's what got them
dissed
famous.
them.
Yeah.
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 Wow.
Yeah, but that's the summer '86, and yeah, man, most of them songs, woof, because man, it was on the radio. You coming of age. I don't know if these kids nowadays got that type of connection, man, to the music because it's what it is, I guess.
Yeah. Seneca, what about you, man? What song does it for you, bro?
For me, it's got to be Dr. Dre's Explosive.
Okay.
All right, so I can remember coming out the tunnel first year playing varsity basketball, everybody in the crowd going crazy, and you like, man, this right here. Every time you hear that song, I'm right back in the gym getting ready to hoop. Dr. Dre's Explosive, no doubt.
Wow.
Okay.
All right. What about you, T?
I would say actually, if I could narrow it down, I'll just pick. If I could pick one part or pick one song, I would say just the Tribe Called Quest and the Scenario.
Okay. Yeah.
That Scenario remix. They whole album, man. You know what I'm saying? Low End Theory was like middle school. You know what I'm saying? Me and my cousins hanging out. Us trying to freestyle back in the middle school. You know what I'm saying? Going to dances, middle school dances. Yeah. I remember that one time when, getting chased by the police, like just random dumb stuff that we used to do. And
Everybody
going to
got
my
that
cousin
story.
Mark-
Yeah, you from Jersey, all right?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Oh well, getting chased by the police, that would be Rakim Juice. That goes through my head when I think about that.
Right.
But going to my cousin's crib, my cousin Mark's crib, and him putting the beats on, and we just listening to Tribe. We listening to like all these different artists. You know what I'm saying? Like that was just the time where you really connected. That was just a good era for hip hop because that's all we did. You know what I'm saying? That was like
Right.
if I wasn't in the comic books, I wasn't playing football, Pop Warner football. I'll be listening to music, listening to Tribe, listening. You know what I mean?
Right.
At a young age, I'm like 12. I'm like 11 or 12 when that stuff came out.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask y'all this. I think like old school hip hop, the message in old school hip hop music and old school hip hop like rap and all that, the message was like, basically what was going on out in the neighborhoods, how we were living, economic status and all of that stuff. But there was a message to it. Like there was a message to the art of music back then, the hip hop. Do you feel, and this is not to bash, but I'm asking, do you feel that there's a message in today's hip hop? I'll start with David.
I mean, it depends on who you're listening to, right? But like I said before, I mean, if you listen to whatever that's on, Triple XL or was getting played on the radio, nah, absolutely not. I will say unequivocally, it's all trash. There's no message. It's just there for the beats, that they've already heavily sampled or they're mumbling. But if you get into that next level, like the indie scene, which is nowadays is basically everybody putting their stuff out on social media, the Spotify's, whatever, or you go to the battle raps, which really maybe not be a place for them to really do like a positive message, but there's a lot of cats out there that is still on battle rap. Something else we were talking about, Dre, was Christian hip hop. And I know Lecrae is the name that comes to mind, but there's a lot of other dudes out there, like Andy Mineo, Esham Burgundy. I mean, these are dudes that were in the world, and they could flow, and then they turn their life over to Christ, and they're bringing all that energy, the hype beats, the wordplay, all that, and it's all Christian. Nothing, the N word is nowhere to be seen, and quite frankly, that's pretty much what I listen to nowadays. So I still got all the beats and stuff that I like, growing up, but now I could, my brain ain't rotten because I'm listening to garbage, as far as lyrics go.
Right. Seneca, what about you?
I agree with what David just said to a certain extent. It depends on who you're listening to, but you also got to dive into the album itself, right? Because the radio is only going to play what gets plays. So once you dive into the album, you find some hidden jewels in there, and that's what you got to focus on.
Right.
Do that.
Right. Right. What about you, Talik L?
Hold on. Headphones.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, my Bluetooth got kicked off.
Oh.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
me?
Mm-hmm.
I think there is no message really. You gotta find it. A lot of cats are not really speaking on to the matter at times. They did some song. I know Kodak Black and a couple artists. They did a song back in the day, but like a couple years ago. Extension. Who else? 21 Savage. They're spreading the message. Of course, J. Cole spreading the message. So there
And
is a
Kendrick.
message, but it's not being heard. You know, it's not being heard like it was back in the day. Like everything that's going on now, with like COVID, racial attention, all that stuff that's going on, everything that's going on with the war, possible war, Trump, all that stuff. Hip hop artists will be eating it up right now. You get like a whole bunch of tracks. Just talk about the times. You don't hardly hear it. Like, I mean, not saying that it's not there. It's there. I just named who's doing it. Roddy Ricch, when he had that song, the song he basically, his main joint he got out. He had slipped a line. He said, I put a couple stack. What is it? Something I put a like. Oh, basically said in his verse that he put a hit out on Zimmerman in his verse, but you got to catch it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that was like his only line.
I approve that message.
You know what I'm saying? But we got, everybody else is trying to get the bag right now.
Right. Right.
Nobody's really
And
touching the issue.
You know what? T, it's funny that you say that because my next question was, back then, like old school hip hop, like I said, it told a story, how we were living and stuff like that. Now, I think for me, and y'all can tell me if y'all agree or disagree, either way. I think today's hip hop is a gimmick for me. It's a product. It's a product now. Like back then, it was just like the music. It told a story, but now it's no different from something sitting on the shelf at Walmart. Like it's really a product that's just for sale to make them money. You know what I'm saying? Do y'all agree with that?
Well, Trey, hold on. I mean, look at here, old guy. You can't trash. You can't trash everything that's going on now because it was always a product. But like I said back in back in the 80s and 90s, you had more cats that was competing for those spots because there really was no way to put out your own music out there, outside of the channels. So when dudes are fighting, of course you're gonna have the best dudes float to the top. I mean, so we didn't have Vanilla Ice was a gimmick, But the problem is that now you got so many channels up there. If you conscious and you decent, you can put your stuff out. But guess what? Vanilla Ice is not a gimmick. He's the norm now because I know Talik was talking about 21 Savage and Kodak Black and them cats. But I remember that freshman XXL video on YouTube where it was Lil Yachty, Kodak Black, 21 Savage. I think Lil Dicky's about the only one that was halfway decent on that whole clip. The rest of them was straight trash. If you don't believe me, go look it up.
Yeah.
So
what about you, Seneca? What do you think?
Listen, David is over there speaking facts, man. I'm with it 100%. When you look at the artists that we have today, they're rapping about what everybody wants to talk about, what everybody wants to have. It was no different, when you go back to the early 80s, they were rapping about everything that was going on right then and there. What's going on with our younger generation is exactly what they see in the videos. That's what they want. That's what they're looking for. So well, again, like I said earlier, we're just giving the same stuff that we're asking for. They're able to sell that product that you're saying because they're talking about all the stuff that we're either wishing we could do or we didn't took PPP money and did. So that's what's going on.
Right. Yeah. I for me, you know, I just have a hard time. You know, I try to be open, man, but even on the way to work, like, I'm like, what is this shit that I'm listening to? Like, it was just like I'm sitting there, man, and you know, I'm just sitting there for 5 minutes, and I almost got like a splitting headache because listening to it. Like, half of it was like mumbling, so I'm trying to figure out like that. Nick, like, you a grown man, speak the hell up. You know what I'm saying?
And why is it that the best rappers out here now are like older dudes? I was at the gym last night. So this is cat named Immortal Technique. I mean, he's nice. He ain't that old, but he flow like old school Dre. He made this song with Killer Mike and this dude named Brother Malik or something, a white cat. And it was called
Brother
Civil
Ali.
War. Yeah, Brother Ali. Yeah, it was called Civil War. I mean, and Chuck D was doing the hooks. That's how off the chart the song was. Chuck D wasn't even rapping; he was just doing the hook. And I'm like, yo, where is this music, man? You gotta like dig real deep into YouTube and Spotify to find the good tracks, man. Because
like honestly, I'm gonna tell you, like I said at the beginning, like I don't all of today's rap is not like what I just explained. Because don't get me wrong, there's some of that stuff that come on there, and I'm like, okay, I like it. Like I'm not trying to down it, because here's the thing, like to bridge that gap, both of us gonna have to come halfway across that bridge. Like, you know, look, little man, like I know this is your stuff, man, and I'm feeling some of your stuff, and not put them down. Just be like, yo, I'm feeling some of your stuff, but listen to this, man. That beat right there came from this beat here. Check this out. Like, you got to bridge that gap. You know what I'm saying? And I think we also got to change the narrative. Like, I think old school rappers, for me, I looked at them, they were teachers. They was telling you what was going on, making you conscious of what's going on. And I feel like most, not all, most, because there are some ones that are teaching out here today, most of them, the new ones are more entertainers. So you got teachers and entertainers. And I kind of, and rap is entertainment, so it could be both. But, you know, for me, I guess just for me, I guess I'm just stuck in my ways because, you know, I'm older.
What you're saying is,
I think I'm just stuck in my way.
They don't make music now that when it comes on the radio and in the club, everybody just goes crazy. Like, you know, like Leaders of the New School and you know, just a lot of that music before. Even if the lyrics wasn't hype, you know, it had a beat where it was like, oh yeah, it just got you there. But,
yeah. And you know,
well, even the Humpty dance, bro.
Yeah,
even the Humpty dance. Yeah. Like, I don't care what anybody say, bro.
Rest in peace, Shock G.
On, bro. Yeah, rest in peace.
The one that puts
you know the Humpty. You put the Humpty dance on, man. Everybody going crazy.
Yeah,
bro. Ain't nobody made a party song like the Humpty dance, man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. That's a legendary.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So these people are not making legendary music. That's the thing.
You know who I think is nice? You know who I think is real nice with it, and I don't really like him that much, but I think he is nice. Lil Wayne. Believe it, I think Lil Wayne is nice with it. Like, I think he nice with it, man. And that was a shocker for me because I ain't a big fan of Lil Wayne, but he nice with it, man. I think he nice with it.
I think it depends on which Lil Wayne you're talking about, right? So if we talking about Carter 1 through Carter 3, that Lil Wayne, fire, right? Everything else after he realized I can say whatever in the hell I want to say, and I'm gonna get a check off.
Right.
Trash.
Yeah, I agree.
Trash.
I agree.
Well, I'll just say this because I kind of dig Lil Wayne when he first started with, you know, saying with with Cash Money. I always thought he was the best one out of all of them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yep.
Even at his limited skills, when he got better, is when I started peeping him out. But this is my thing. I was never really heavily into him like that because I knew there was other artists that were better than him, way better than him, and that just weren't getting the exposure that he was getting. So I mean, a lot of people say Wayne was fire. Wayne was fire, but he wasn't in the top tier lyrical MCs that I know that was around his age. He's another guy named Fashawn from out of Cali. He's dope. He's way better. You know what I'm saying? And he came out around that era. Don't forget Cassidy. See, Cassidy got locked up around the time when Wayne started blowing up. If Cassidy didn't get locked up, everybody be talking about Cassidy and the songs he came out with. You know what I'm saying? He had to sit down for a minute before, you know, that's why that kind of killed his career. Because when he came out, he really didn't pop. He didn't really pop after that.
Right.
You know
Yo,
what
Cash
thing
Money
that makes
Brothers
you-
kissing each other too much for my taste.
He what?
That's all.
Huh?
What'd he say?
Seeing Cash Money, they were kissing each other too much for my taste. That's all.
Oh, Cash
Especially
Money.
Bird. Especially Bird.
Bird,
I
yeah,
can't-
Bird.
Bird, man,
weirdo.
yeah. Bird was kissing more. Yeah. What was you gonna say, Seneca?
Put some-
I think the
some
thing that
respect on
catches
it.
you with Cassidy though is the fact that when he got out, he couldn't find a way to be relevant again, right? So
Right,
with
right.
him, even if you look at him now, like you're going back and forth with nobody's trying to just get a spark, so that way you can get yourself out
Right.
there again, and you're struggling
Right.
with it. So it makes you think, you know, realistically, what does his rhymes look like in today's game versus back then, right? Lil Wayne is still relevant to the young kids. They still,
Yeah.
But why? Why?
so it just makes you look at it.
Yeah. Why, you said why?
Yes.
Look, man. Here's the thing, Dave, and this I think I'm going to answer this too. I think so. I'll give you a perfect example. You know, I DJ, right? And I go to different. I used to be part of this group with the DJs, and they were like getting upset because the younger kids was using the controller. So you still on turntables, but there's a controller, you know, with the turntable, you know, whatever. And they were real pissed off that these kids wasn't using vinyl and all of that. So my thing was, if you were born into this, what else is it? So let's just say you take a kid right now who's 2 years old. He grows up, he gets to 18. How do you expect him to like old school hip hop when this is all he knows and you getting mad at him because he likes this music? So I think, you know, even with the kids today who like this new music, we can't really blame them for liking it. This is what they listen to as a kid.
Yeah, it's all they know.
You know what I'm saying? It's all they know. And that's why I just think, you know, sometimes we need to kind of bridge that gap, because some of them think they hear this one song like, man, that beat been remixed 5-6 times. You wind up playing the original version, kid come running there thinking he gonna hear Lil Baby or somebody, and it be somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Kid, it's just crazy, man. It's just crazy. I think this is like a huge gap between the old and the new, man. And I think, and honestly, and I'm trying to get better. It's kind of people like me who just like not talk down the old new rap, but just it's just not a positive light I put on all of it. Just some of it.
But
like,
you know what though? I'm going to say this though, and this is real talk. I mean, you know, I'm on social media, probably on TikTok way too much. I admit it, and Dre, no, I'm on Facebook way too much. But here's the thing though, young cats, I mean, generation, what's that? Z and the millennials, they're not even that fond of a lot of the hip hop that's out there now. So, you know, my wife, you know, she teaches high school, and she says that high school kids now, they're listening to stuff from the 80s and the 90s, a lot from the 90s, you know, because it's like the music that's out there now is like, yeah. So I can tell you this much. We wasn't listening to a lot of music from back in the 60s and 70s when we was coming up, Dre.
Right.
So, you know, maybe there's something to be said for that. And maybe things will turn around as these kids start to sample or kind of get that influences back from where hip hop started, you know, in the 80s and the heyday in the 90s.
Yeah, Seneca and Talik L. Based on what he just said,
Yeah.
what we're talking about, do you think that versus battle between Jadakiss and Dipset brung some of the younger crowd into the older music? Because I know some of them think, oh, Jadakiss just came out. Like they were like, who is this new rapper? He's been out for a while. Like, so do you think they brung, they might have brung some of the young guys in?
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah,
listen to what
absolutely.
Fat Joe said after that battle, right? The price that you would have paid for Jadakiss the day before and the price that you're going to pay today, two completely different things, right?
Just went up.
He literally caught fire after that. I'm a grown ass man, and I got in my car and put on Jadakiss the next morning to go to work. So I don't know.
I did too. I did too, yo. I did too. I ain't gonna lie. T, what you think, man?
Absolutely. I think it reestablished him as a artist in this day and time. Younger people. I think the younger people tuned in because it depends on how young they are. If it's the younger people from like who were born in the '90s, they kind of remember that their parents listening probably to, or whoever, their older brother, whoever, listening to Dipset and all that. Because remember, Dipset really popped during the 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
So they probably remember that. So they tuned into the battle because everybody thought because Dipset had a lot of radio hits, right?
Mm-hmm.
What won that battle was showmanship.
Yep, exactly.
And
Absolutely.
now the younger artists gotta step their game up with showmanship.
Yep.
One person that does it, one person who has good showmanship, even though he messed it up with his comments, is the Baby. Baby got good. He could put on a show. You know what I'm saying? And that's what a lot of artists, I think even the younger people are going to have to start looking at. Now, whether it bring them back into hip hop or as far as lyricism, yes. It re-put a stamp back on lyricism and all that. So there are a lot of young people who I think are looking for that. And they're looking towards going back towards that. Remember the vibe in the early 2010 or maybe 2009 or whatever, late 2000s, the lyricism was coming back. Yeah, Joey Badass, you know what I'm saying? You had, Kendrick. You had these are young men who were born in the late 80s, early 90s. You know what I'm saying? And they brought lyricism back. Their whole cliques were all about lyricism. You got a lot of young people who are sparking back lyricism. They're trying to get back. They're trying to get signed, not signed, but they're independent and they're trying to get their music going. And they're actually writing verses and spitting rhymes. I was at a showcase on Monday. I was at a showcase in Philly, and a person who was rhyme and a guy, a young dude, he did a song. He called it RZA. He named it after RZA. And this guy had to be in his 20s, like late mid 20s, right? So he's a 90s baby, you know what I mean? But he wrote a song called RZA, and it was a dedication to RZA and the Wu-Tang. You know what I'm saying? So everything always get revitalized. Think about what's about to drop next week, the Wu-Tang second season, right? That's gonna get the young people sparked up. When I was working at this one job, I had put it on because they had the Roku, so I hooked my Hulu up, and I had and the people I was working with, they're a lot younger than me, so they kind of were interested when they saw that. They probably don't even listen to Wu-Tang on a regular, but I guarantee you after that after they watch the series, they're gonna be picking up and listening to Wu-Tang.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? There's different ways, like Dre said, we got to bridge the gap. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think even just on a note, RZA, he bridged the gap between the generations with his documentary and the Hulu series.
Right.
I think because they ain't gonna go look. They're gonna look at the series. They're gonna look at the drama. They're gonna look at the action, and they're gonna be like, oh wow. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Who knows? There might be some young people out there talk about, we the next Wu-Tang or something. Who knows? They might come up with a group or something just like that. Inspired.
Yep.
All
right. So
absolutely.
So look, y'all.
Yeah, man.
We're gonna get up. We're gonna get up. We're gonna get up out of here. But before we get up out of here, I just want to get. I'm gonna give you the opportunity to give me your best hip hop line from any of your artists. Your best hip hop line.
Oh man.
Or bars. But
Genesis chapter 11 verse 10 explains the genealogy of Shem. Shem was a black man in Africa. If you mention that fact, they can't laugh at you.
All right. Seneca, you got one, bro?
Learn.
Yes, sir.
Listen, coldest line I can remember right now off the top of the head actually came from Kanye. Right? Mayonnaise colored Benz, I push miracle whips and I am.
Wow.
That right there, when you think about Kanye, you don't really think about him like that no more, right? But back in the day, when he first dropped College Dropout, fire.
All right.
Seneca, if the rest of them would have been like College Dropout, he'd be in my top 5.
Right.
Absolutely.
All right. Talik L, what's your line, man?
Oh man. Any artist, any song?
Yep.
Right now, since I just mentioned Wu-Tang, I breaks it down to the bone gristle. Breaks it down to the bone gristle. Low Speed, Studs Whistle, Heat Seeking, Johnny Blazing, Nightmares of like Wes Craven. For Nightmares of Wes Craven. I guess I'm nervous.
That's all right, man.
I'm sorry, I got it started before it's nothing. You know about the statin kids, they smash it, anything, in any shape, form, or fashion. When they talk about they blasting, is you busting still or is you flashing? Talking at your, you should have learned about the flow in PZ Afro. Italian Stallion.
That's hot.
Snot nose. From the to the bunion to my big toe, I keep it moving. Notice what I'm doing. Rapper Somniac, Phoenix Kitchen and Susan. Set the cardiac, arrest me. Essence is hip hop, possess me. Crush it in the lock of Nestle. You know my seeds. Burn up to a 3rd degree. Cheeky ass holly top pedigree. The head toucher. I forgot the rest. I know the whole thing, but that stuff right there is probably one of his best verses he ever wrote, man.
All right, so
probably the best verse. Yeah.
Mine is simple. Mine ain't deep. It's just basic, man. It's so basic. It's so basic that it might be even corny. But it's 2 of them. I can't make up my mind, so I'll do the first one. All right. Manhattan keeps on making it. Brooklyn keeps on taking it. Bronx is creating it. And Queens keeps on faking it. So that's my joint. Basic. I love that line. And this one, y'all, I don't know if y'all know this one. Y'all, Talik L, you might know. Now let's read a cappella. Wisdom G, I manifesting, understanding, so there's no deep. I keep your guess. Now follow me now, see, I be rocking. The second hand is clicking so the posse don't be clocking. Controller of the clock is clicking closer to the point. Rock this funky joint. Boy, I just teaching, man. Had to do it, brother.
Trenton in the house.
Yes, sir. But yo, man, look, y'all.
Confused with the Lords of the Underground.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yo, look, man. We're gonna get up out of here, man. I thank y'all for being on. Like, yo, this was a good show, man. It's a good show. It could probably warrant a part 2, but I'm glad that y'all came on, man. And to the next time, people, y'all stay on. Everybody else, love y'all much, man. And we out of here. Peace.
Thank you for watching the Speak Now Hold Your Peace live broadcast. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube and join us on the Speak Now Hold Your Peace Facebook group.